That announcement, as you know, due Monday, but President Trump said he'd make up his mind by the end of this week. Over the holiday, aides tell me, speaking on the phone with advisors about that Supreme Court selection. The president often putting a premium on a personal connection when it comes to decisions like this.
Overnight, these fireworks only a preview as President Trump gets set to name his Supreme Court nominee. Those political pyrotechnics heating up despite the president making no mention of his imminent decision, hosting service members and their families for the 4th of July.
Thank you for keeping America safe, strong, proud, mighty, and free.
The president's list of contenders down to 7.
These are very talented people, brilliant people, and I think you're going to really love it.
2 appeals court judges getting much of the buzz and much of the scrutiny. One viewed by critics as too conservative, the other not conservative enough. Brett Kavanaugh has ties to 2 past presidents, helping investigate Bill Clinton, later a top aide to George W. Bush, before joining the D.C. Circuit Court.
Mr. President, I am honored to have served you and the presidency.
But as a judge, conservative critics argue Kavanaugh didn't go far enough in his opinions on abortion and Obamacare. Amy Coney Barrett would be the youngest justice at 46 and the first woman named to the court by a Republican president in nearly 40 years.
I will send to the Senate the nomination of Judge Sandra Day O'Connor.
Barrett, a Catholic, is embraced by social conservatives, focused on issues like abortion and religious freedom, fending off criticism during her last confirmation hearing that her faith would affect her legal judgment.
When you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you.
The Senate will have the final say, and already pressure's building on red state Democrats home for the holiday to oppose any presidential pick.
Also this morning, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is en route to North Korea for another meeting with dictator Kim Jong-un, his first visit there since last month's summit in Singapore, trying to turn what they discussed, the president discussed then, into something more solid. The Trump administration also trying to erase growing skepticism that North Korea is serious about getting rid of its nuclear weapons, just as U.S. intelligence officials believe Pyongyang is trying to deceive the U.S., secretly making more fuel for nuclear weapons in recent months. Craig?
Peter Alexander, Force at the White House this morning. Peter, thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.